Hello, welcome back. We cast Mind Hunt. It was a mistake. I cast this on DM Dracket's huge stack. Turns out there was an Astral Mage there. So our Mind Hunter has become feeble-minded, unfortunately. I don't think we have any easy way of curing that. Dispels as usual. In Heaper, suddenly a great wasting cloud of disease appeared out of nowhere and struck the army located here. 239 units were hit, and of these, 182 units are now diseased. That's a lot of worms getting diseased. I'm not sure what effect that will have, because they eat corpses and they regen and they have affliction resistance. I'm gonna test some strange interactions, I think. But a few of our commanders also got disease, which is unfortunate, but we do have a method of curing that. 2 arrows appeared out of the sky. I assume this is La Mancha attacking my raiding force over here. So the the astral coastal hermit died, unfortunately. They made lots of battles. First off, some raids. Threw some worms at DM Dracket. Nothing here. The gem goes fine. In Ionia, a bit different. So I was moving units through La Mancha territory to get adjacent to our fort that's under siege. La Mancha moved one of his armies. This doesn't have his god in it, but it does have lots and lots of mages. Plus quite a few units. We got some crossbows and some swordsmen. Some lanceros. The evocation spam is pretty brutal, but as long as we're right in his face, he hits a lot of his own guys as well, so it doesn't really matter. A lot easier for us to replace our troops than him to replace his, I think. So that goes quite well. A lot of his mages manage to escape, but a few do get caught. So that was Ionia. Not too bad. We killed 11 novelists. And quite a few units. We lost... The only commander we lost was a acolyte. Everything else is just worms and long dead. We did lose 4 teeth in the hills. So all in all, it's not too bad. That really takes out a lot of the power that La Mancha has over on the east of our territory. Also a battle in Mythia. We ran into another little stack. I guess I'll watch it just to show the stack, but this is the raiding force. Yeah, got these guys. Secret guards. Another little mage stack. Evocations blow us to bits. Spider battle that was just a Gerudan stack taking out a Nazcan province. These are the big giant stacks of iron knuckles that he has. That's over here. Lost Erebon again. Battle in Florian. This was just getting pinged on my fortress with a Mound King. Battle in Mun. Taking back the cave from nothing. That's fine. What kind of commander is that? Oh, it's just a Selenite commander. Okay. So we got this cave province back now as well. Took control of Robber Home, so Selenia just moved off it. There's nothing here. Battling Jabal Kish. taking references from Nazca. Yeah, so all in all, I mean, that went pretty well. We knocked out a La Manchean army here. We're just taking back territory in our own territory. Still doing raids. We've got this little like line through DM Drakket's territory now. It's spreading redweed quite nicely as well. There's Dents in Wick, and then there's redweed in Lyncher. That'd be nice if we start pushing redweed into Gerudo from the back. He least expects it. Lots of events. We got Night Conjurer. We got redweed and Harbathria. Night Conjurer. Hungry Prince and Keepus. This is a free Hungry Prince. We can summon these. You can also take one of these as your pretender if you want to. They have Corpse Eater with no second shape, and they gain hit points. I think it's a mistake. I shouldn't have done it like that. It does mean that these guys can get like thousands and thousands of hit points. It does drain down over time, but it's a bit much. But we've got one for free, so I'm going to use him. I'm forging a slime item for him this time so that he's sacred and blessed. Because the regen will work quite nicely when you've got 1 billion hit points. So we'll think of a use for him. Holoma, Night Amarant. We got another Moor in Chibia, which is good. Forest of Gun got coal +3. Wick Forest got some lost population and some lost gold. Listingy got some nature gems. And the Myriad took Pikas. Everything else is pretty normal. So Queen Forest is still standing. It has 49 wall integrity, so I'm just moving everything into it this turn. I don't know whether La Mancha is going to continue sieging it. He does have quite a few troops here and his god, but I'm moving everything I've got left. There's going to be 3 Spirits of Points in this battle, which will be interesting. A couple of unit versions as well. Got Long Dead on the sides, all on either attack rear or attack flyers. Got some Splendor, who are breaking siege, so they're currently in the fort. They're also on attack rear and attack flyers. These guys are on fire flyers. These guys are on attack flyers, I think. Worms are unscripted. Typical stuff otherwise. S1 guy doing Body Ethereal. All of the Spirits of Points are just going to spam Astral Geyser. I think that's a nice one. Water guys. Both of the Water Mages are going to do Quagmire because one of them is breaking siege and one of them is moving. So, depending on what happens, I want to make sure that we have Quagmire in some sort of conflict. But after the Quagmire, they're just going to drop Falling Frosts. Nature guys are doing Vine Arrows and Red Tangles as usual. That's about it. We do have a couple of dancers as well who are going to buff up an attack rear. It seems good against La Mancha's weak communion and human troops. It's a better tactic than versus a giant cloud of poison. I think that'll go fine. It just depends what actually happens and depending on where he moves and what he does. So I guess we'll find out sooner rather than later. We do still have a stack just sitting on Lemnos not doing anything. Lemnos went AI like a billion turns ago, I think. I don't know, we could storm the fort, but I imagine it's scripted to do something. Might as well just sit here and wait until he dies. Or if this gets wrapped up, we can move this army down and properly take Lemnos and secure this area. Looks like Nazca has been completely swallowed up by Gerudo. So I imagine Gerudo will be invading us next. Or Gerudo might actually attack La Mancha next. It'd be easy for him to just gobble up the whole world while we're being contained by multiple people. Still don't know what this stack is doing. But other than this conflict over here, there's not much else going on. I'm moving tons of worms to Old Forest. We're going to be agitating the mire here again. We've got lots of death gems. So there's going to be lots of worms here. We'll start bulking them up. A lot of these guys are going to be diseased now because they all got hit by disease in Hypo. I'm not sure what effect that will have. Let's see if we can find a... Is it D? Yeah. So they're diseased. They are actually getting afflictions even though they have affliction resistance. I guess affliction resistance only protects you from getting injured and getting an affliction. It's disease resistance that stops you getting a disease affliction. That's kind of weird. But they regen and they eat corpses, so they're not going to lose any hit points. I'm not sure what they'll do, or how it will interact exactly. I guess we'll find out. If it stops them growing, that's pretty interesting, because it means disease is a pretty good way of hurting worms. But the big thing happening this turn is I'm just doing a lot of forging. I'm kind of behind on forging items. So in this province we've got Earth Boots, which is an Earth booster, Robe of the Sea, which is a Water booster, and 2 Thistle Maces, which are Nature boosters. I think that's everything that's getting forged here. In Robber Home, I'm forging 2 bottles of Pink Nectar Posy. I think I've showed this before, but it's a national item I can forge. That's just a disease curing item to fix our commanders. So it's exactly the same as the Cure All Elixir, it's just easier to manufacture and cheaper. So we'll get 2 of those. I'm also casting Forest Dome over Robber Home. Once the Thistle Maces have been forged, I'll cast it over Florian as well. It would be nice to get a Water Dome over as well, but we never have any Water Gems. I think I'm giving a lot of them out to Water Mages to do Quagmire because they're all Water 3. So Water will be quite useful for that as well. But we'll eventually get up an Astral Dome and a Water Dome over all our provinces along with a Forest Dome. That's the intent anyway. You can't forge Starshine Skullcaps yet because we need Construction 6, but I'll get it eventually. Maybe that should be next target. Not sure. And back in my cap, I'm forging a Living Tentacle to give to the Hungry Prince. Wait, that's not what I should be forging. Oh, I got the wrong item. The Tentacle's the Convenient Master one. I'm looking for the Sacred Slime. Yeah, you can't do it. I need Nature and Holy. That's you. Have I forgotten how to forge my own item? Is it Nature and Astral? Maybe it's Nature and Astral. Bear with me 1 second. Do I have a Nature Astral guy here? I do have Idrif. There we go, there's Sacred Slime. Okay, so I'll forge one of this for the Hungry Prince. So that he's always blessed. In terms of research targets, I also wondered if maybe we should take a dip into Enchantment 7 to get Gift of Health, if people are going to start diseasing us. We do have very strong Dominion, so it'd be quite nice. We have a lot of troops that are already very high hit points as well. I wonder what effect Gift of Health would have on worms leveling up. That's quite a funny one, I hadn't thought about that. Because they level up as soon as they hit points, so if they just get a lot of hit points from Gift of Health, it would just level them all up immediately, wouldn't it? That's quite funny, I hadn't even considered that. Yeah, that makes Gift of Health seem really, really good for us, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a good target. Let's go for Enchantment 7 next, after Conjuration. I want Conjuration just so that I can fill my forts with Tangleheart eggs. This is a really weird spell that it'd be nice to test this. Yeah, research currently on 601 per month, it's not too bad. Let's knock out this fort. Last thing to remember is that the Strange Bedfellows enchantment in this province expires next month. I have actually moved an S3 guy here ready to recast it. But it's good having Spirits of Points now because they can teleport around and cast them anywhere because they have the Astral and the Holy, which is what you need. I think. Yeah, that's the turn. So that was turn 44, thanks for watching. Kind of a long game, it looks like this game might drag out all the way to the Cataclysm. Unless things really start to shift, because there's lots of kind of big players who aren't losing much territory. Yep, I don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually. I'll see you on turn 45. Hello, welcome back. Another big turn. I'm not sure what the best way to go through all these battles is, because it feels like I'm showing a lot of stuff where nothing's really happening, but we did some spells as usual. There were also 2 more globals went up. One is by Selenia casting Vengeful Waters, which is unpleasant. And the other is Cassia casting, I think it's Wrath of God, the Lightning Bolt one. So both pretty nasty globals. Lots of battles then. First of all, AI Lemnos tried to break siege with a single Jaguar. That didn't go very well. And then we also had a battle in Haloma. This is La Mancha raiding me with 2 new types of thug. These guys have Fire Shield by default, it seems. They're not wielding any kind of item that gives it to them, and they're not blessed, so... They behave pretty much as you'd expect. They're on hold for 2 turns, it looks like. And then they just start flying around. Fire Shield will protect them quite well from worms, of course. So they've taken Hollomer. Hollomer is one of the province adjacent to my capital that has a strange bedfellows enchantment, so that's always annoying when we lose that one. You also attack Queen Forest. So this is me attacking into my fort that was under siege by La Mancha. He did stay here. His god is still here as well. And he's got the communion. We killed most of those troops last turn though, so... not nearly as many troops as we've seen. Very big communion there. We get to see the drakes that are actually water wheels again. The community just cast a few Blade Winds. Blade Winds are pretty brutal against Splendor because they have no armor and no protection. You don't see Blade Wind very often anymore. It used to be pretty devastating, and oh, speaking of devastating, that was a great whatever it's called, the Shadow Blast thing. Cost gems. Well, no, that goes quite well. The god flies away, unfortunately, so we don't kill the god. So that was Queen Forest. We did lose one dancer, a couple of worms, quite a few worms actually. But we killed 15 novelists, and 4 millwrights, and 130-ish troops. They're not too bad. We got our fortress back and safely under our control again as well. Packwads we took back from Nazca, just with a random guy we've got walking around. 2 battles then between Gerudo and Nazca and Gerudo and ourselves. These are just giant stacks of Gerudan troops. There's no mage in either of these. This one's just Long Dead and Iron Knuckles. The one attacking Nazca is Iron Knuckles mostly, and a couple of random things. Yeah, no mages at all though. I'll show the one that's attacking us. This is adjacent to Lemnos. All of the units just get blessed automatically. I guess they bless themselves or something. But they've got 21 protection. The bless gives them fire resistance, cold resistance, undying 10, heat aura, and chill aura. They don't have fire shield, but they do have heat aura. And they have a siege bonus. What's the siege strength of 4.4? So these guys can knock down forts pretty quickly. And they do only have 11 magic resistance though, which is something. And at the moment they're in a swamp, so their combat speed's pretty low. But usually it's 12. They're in a line, so they do move across the battlefield quite slowly. There's not much that conventional troops can really do against them though. A bit like worms in that respect. Yeah. We'll take a look at that in more depth in a second. Foresters have gone. I don't think this was an important battle. I think it's just... Yeah, this is a new... we've seen this before last turn, but it's the new La Mansion stack just taking back his territory from us that we took raiding. And finally, Cliff Coast. The last of our raiders going into the Drakket's territory. This goes fine as usual. Somehow, even though we don't have any Kazian Dominion anywhere in our territory, we managed to... The 2% chance managed to hit 32 of our units and kill 38 of them. Which is a bit of a shame. And as for events, we got corpses in Old Forest. The Silver Sarcophagus opened in Old Forest, which is interesting. We got attacked by a divine mummy or something. We got Splendor, more Splendor. We got a Moor in Robber Home, which is good. Madman. We got Maya, some water gems, some nature gems. Yeah, that's everything. There's a battle coming up. There's the Myriad taking Erebon again. And in Old Forest, this guy woke up out of the sarcophagus. Korgol the Divine Mummy. Plague Carrier. So more disease for us. Unfortunately, he is no match for 200 worms. So that goes fine. He's dead. I guess there was a sarcophagus site in that province I must have forgotten about. I didn't know it triggered an event anyway. Lemnos can still be stormed, we'll do that soon. And we lost a acolyte to disease. So is this, yeah, this silver sarcophagus, I guess this might trigger more events, or maybe that's the one. It opened, he got out, he's done. I guess we'll find out soon. Okay, so this turn there's only really, I guess, two things happening. I'm putting up some domes in Florian like I said I would. I've alchemized some gems into water gems to get a frost dome up. So the successful privatization of water is going to cast the frost dome, and then foraging nuts and berries is going to cast forest dome. That gives us 2 domes over our throne, which is nice. They're not the most kind of reliable ones, but frost might at least catch someone off guard. And in Robber Home, I'm getting up. I mean, in Robber Home we already have the forest dome, so what I'm doing over here is attacking the throne, which is what I said I might do. I thought since I've got this army that's already sitting here and already scripted, I might as well just throw it at the throne since we're here. I don't remember what's in this throne province, to be honest with you. I could go back and check because Selenia pinged it recently and we saw the scout report, but I don't think it's a big deal. We've got plenty of stuff here. We've got it's set up the same as when I was thinking about attacking Selenia, but it's basically teeth on either side, trees and splendor in the big blocks. And we just kind of buff up and walk forwards. Big difference now is I can give out some gems. So I've got a nature guy who's been boosted up to N5 to do Greater Red Tangle after casting regen on himself. And I think, yeah, there's another nature guy who's N3. I'm going to cast Strength of Gaia and then do Howl. And maybe cast Rouse the Tangleheart as well if we've got any endurance left at that point. Water guy's still doing a Quagmire. Other than that, nothing too interesting. The usual buffs, the usual single target spells, and a great deal of walking forwards. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes fine. How bad can it be? They're all level 2 thrones. I think it should be okay though. We don't have many worms here, but we do have a big block of the cadaverous red worm colonies. They don't grow, so it's worth throwing them at things that you're a bit unsure of. I'm recasting Strange Bedfellows in Old Forest. The Hungry Prince we got, I gave him some items that I had lying around, which is, you might remember these two things, they were on a tree commander for a long time. And I gave him the Sacred Slime, and I'm going to send him to the deathmatch. Because why not? I never usually take part in the deathmatch. These are all free items with the exception of the slime, which cost, what, 5 nature gems or something? Commander himself, I'm not really interested in using too much. Let's see how he does in the deathmatch. Maybe he'll come back with a nice prize of some sort. That just leaves this section of the map, which is where the interesting stuff is happening. So here's one Iron Knuckle stack in Rotmarsh. This is the one that's a big horizontal line. It's possible this attacks into Lemnos next turn, because he did just take this off us. You might see this puny little stack here, and think, why not? So I'm moving a couple of things to help. I'm still not storming, I'm just going to maintain the siege with the stuff that's here, which is just a big block of worms, and then some, what are these, whites? Literally it. Over here I gave my very old pair of Boots of the Messenger to widescreen TV with your boss on it. He's moving over to do a Divine Bless. And the big red arrow is all of the flying or teleporting commanders. They're going to head over to Lemnos as well. So we'll be maintaining the siege with the blocks of Spirits of Points and the whites. Big block of worms, some long dead on the side. And the Spirits of Points are just going to be spamming Astral Geyser. The Dancers in the Grass will buff for 5 turns and then attack rear. Should give plenty of time for everything to move forwards. I've got a Nature Caster here who's just going to spam regen. Water Guy's going to do some quickness. He'll also do some Cleansing Waters just to clean up those long dead that Gerudo has behind his army. And Management Monsters Cloud Based is going to do some Body Ethereals each turn as well. I think that should go fine. We'll see. We'll get to see how worms stack up against the Iron Knuckle guys. Interesting to see. Let's see if he moves into us. I think he may do that, but we'll see. Up here is the even bigger stack, which also has no mages. Who knows what he does here? He might just move down. Or he might now also invade La Mancha. I don't know. Gerudo seems like a very large... Like, I mean, he extends... He's probably larger than us, and he also seems to have more units than us, weirdly. So he might happily just take La Mancha's throne as well, while aggressing towards us. Who knows? But either way, everything I've got here is just going to sit here for a turn and wait and see what happens. Can't really move anywhere useful anyway. Halim is the province we just lost to those 2 thugs. I'm just going to throw these Splendor at them. We've got a guy doing Ethereal, 2 doing Quickness, one guy's Blessing. These guys should take care of a thug or 2, I think. Maybe. So we'll find out. And other than that, it'll just be usual raids happening. I'm going to raid Gerudo over here. I'm going to try and defend Niffle from this little stack. I probably can't, there's not enough stuff here. But I'm going to do what I can. Actually, you know what? Move the worms out of the province events. And I think that's it for this turn. That's 45. Thanks for watching. Probably a long turn. I'll see you next time.